So in the end, both of them agreed to Peter's plan. With that, all three of them began a three-way make-out session. Oh lord. Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. So, one day I was scrolling through Instagram, as one does, and I came upon this account called Pencil Kami. In honor of Spider-Man and Supergirl releasing this summer, they drew crossovers between the two characters. At first it was just funny banter between the two, but to both the writer and the audience, it was quickly apparent that these versions of the characters very much had the chemistry for a romantic relationship. Obviously, this specific artist only lightly teased the audience for a while until something actually happened between them. To be honest, I'm not really sure exactly what the status of their relationship is at the moment. Pencil Kami recently posted an actual comic fleshing out this crossover. I highly recommend you check them out. But the entire point of this story is that I didn't realize this was quite the popular ship, and oh boy, with that comes a lot of wackiness. Now, I've never really been one to care for shipping. I feel like it's usually a distraction from what the artist is trying to say. Zutara, for example, is pretty silly to me. It springs from a genuine criticism about how Aang and Katara's relationship was executed, but going so far as to say that Katara should have been with Zuko?
Oh, hell no! Hell no!
I don't know, man. I watched Avatar when I was an adult, and I'd heard all about the Zutara stuff, but I just never saw the chemistry people were talking about. It's kind of just two friends sharing experiences with each other. I'm getting way off topic here. Look, I don't normally care for shipping, but this is the one instance it kind of worked on me. Something about the way these characters interact is just so natural. And at the end of the day, it's all in good fun, so I can't blame people for that. I'm sorry, what? What?
How could I be so wrong?
I should have expected this, but I was really hoping for better. So, let's take a look at the wacky world of Spider-Man and Supergirl shipping. At the very top of this iceberg are essentially commentators explaining why they think this relationship would work. Part of it is their shared experience of loss, something they can easily connect over and have deep conversations about. Their morals are also pretty aligned. Both have an innate sense of justice and a push for optimism even in the face of defeat and despair. The regular interpretation of these characters also makes sense, as Peter's often depicted as a goody two-shoes, whereas Kara is often shown as, the one on the edge. That's an oversimplification for sure, but there's the classic saying that opposites attract, and I think that's what makes this relationship seem more tangible. A lot of people have picked up on these traits, and I think that's where this really all started. Funny enough, Spider-Man did canonically have a crush on Supergirl. This was revealed in Amazing Spider-Man 306, published in 1988. The cover is actually an homage to Superman's first appearance in Action Comics #1. Peter Parker is at a signing tour for a book he just published. A fan drops some comics, and as Peter picks them up, he says, "Gosh, I had this one when I was a kid. I had a crush on the girl in the miniskirt." Mary Jane pulls up to the event later and gives him with the comic, and it's revealed the girl was Supergirl from Action Comics 285. I guess this is something he told Mary Jane before, because this just seems like the most random present to give him, but this was obviously in good fun, so I don't really mind. Wait a minute, Peter was married to MJ? Guys, can we please go back to this? Peter looks so happy. Why? Why did Marvel replace this with Depression Slop? I don't really get it. So yeah, this being canon obviously just fuels more fire to the Spider-Man and Supergirl allegations. The second layer would probably be Instagram skits of these characters. They mostly show people's excitement for these movies or certain interactions the characters might have.
Shredding waves is much more dangerous than people realize.
You're very brave, Ken.
Thank you, Barbie.
Yeah.
This one is particularly funny. It does make you wonder what would happen if aliens found us. Oh man, what intricate ways does this species communicate? And it's just 6'7". Man, if I were an alien, I'd be so disappointed. I'd be like...
So he's an idiot.
Anyways, most of the people in these skits are probably couples, so seeing them play off each other definitely adds to the image people have that Kara and Peter would work as a couple. The third layer are the numerous drawings depicting the characters together. Pencil Kami is probably the most well known, as this is essentially a series running on their Instagram. Some of it is actually really well written. This one arc starts with a funny Dispatch reference, as Spider-Man has to decide between kissing Kara or not. Of course, the comment section went wild saying the obvious. Listening to the comments section, the artist made Spider-Man kiss Kara, which drove everyone nuts. Yeah, obviously this came as a surprise to Kara and she completely decked him. Realizing her mistake, she apologizes to Peter about the punch, which he responds, "Could have fooled me." Supergirl breaks down saying she's from a different reality, trapped in a separate universe, and she doesn't want to start something that might not last. Peter responds, "Okay then, let's be nothing." "What does that mean?" Kara asks. Peter says, "I heard it lasts forever."
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
There's also a ton of hope core, giving motivation to everyone reading. I don't know, I love this series and I get excited whenever I see a new post by Pencil Kami because it's genuinely good artwork. Bro, it's so good you got Marvel spies in the comment section asking Peter to die or suffer. Anyways, there's tons of artists who've done their own interpretations and crossovers. This one's a little sus, guys, not gonna lie. This person has an entire blog dedicated to making covers for crossovers they want to see. This one has a nice 60s look to it, though you've got like the usual comic antics of this actually being a clone of Spider-Man. If you're interested in this type of stuff, this blog is called Super Team Family, The Lost Issues. They've got some very cool artwork. Lots of people have been giving their interpretation of this with their own styles. It's genuinely cool seeing people express themselves like this. Unfortunately, like with most things these days, AI slop ruins the fun, which is the next level. Guys, if you wanted to see this, you could have just made it for yourself. All the passion and story between these two characters is completely erased by this garbage. Bro, what is going on here? Why does Spidey have an extra floating leg? What's happening to their arms? And what kind of architecture is this? Bro, get this in the trash. Here's another weird one. His anatomy is completely broken. It's almost as bad and broken as Sonic 06. And Kara's eyes are so lifeless. Bro, does she even care about him? Is she doing this against her will? Obviously, we had to get the pregnant one. That doesn't remind me of anything at all. I don't really understand this side of the internet. It's a particularly vile form of grift. It's really disturbing. What even is the point of this? What emotional response are you trying to get? Because this is just vomit inducing to me. Alright, it's time for the final layer, what you've all been waiting for. Fanfiction. Now, fanfiction gets a bad rap, and well, to a degree that's understandable because some of the stuff we're going to see is, oh boy. However, it doesn't have to be cringe or sus. As I mentioned earlier, Pencil Kami just started a concrete crossover with Supergirl and Spider-Man, and so far it's a lot of fun. The Star Wars Expanded Universe is basically just fan fiction, and stuff like KOTOR or the Darth Bane trilogy are some of the best stories I've ever experienced. I know Star Wars fans are going to be mad at me for calling the EU fan fiction, but even though it was licensed, it was never actually produced by George Lucas himself. The point is that fan fiction can be good or even great with a talented writer. I myself have made plenty of fan fiction in the forms of comics. Now, a lot of it isn't great, I'm not going to lie. Plus, most of it is on paper, so I'd have to scan all that and upload that online. It's a lot of work. If you want to see what I have done, I remade the Book of Boba Fett because I did not like that show. And I had all these ideas for like how they should have done it. The link is in the description below if you're curious about the story. I also partly animated a crossover between The Flash and 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, it's kind of a weird concept, I know. But I wanted to give a commentary on mental health and how they portrayed Hannah in the show. Plus, I wanted to play around with some animation and editing techniques, so if you're curious, go check that out. Wow, that was a long-winded defense of fanfiction, and none of it matters too much because we're gonna read some just weird behavior regarding Kara and Peter. I'm blurring out the author so people don't harass them, but I'm also going into this mostly blind, so we'll see how I react.
Rated M for mature.
Go down here. This is just interesting, bro. Like, are we serious? Part 15 of crossover smut. Some of these descriptors are so bad, I'm gonna have to blur them out in the editing room. So let's Super Spider Cat. Now, okay, so a common thing among this community is like Spider-Man and Supergirl are like kind of a thing, but then obviously there's Black Cat who gets jealous and kind of like gets mixed in with the whole thing. So it's like, yeah, so the descriptor here is Spider-Man struggles to choose between Supergirl and Black Cat, but then realizes he doesn't have to? What? Dog, this is interesting. Peter Parker, better known as the Amazing Spider-Man, had a problem. Well, granted, he had a lot of problems, but right now his problem came in the form of his love life. Right now, he was torn between two women, those being Kara Zor-El, better known as Supergirl, whom he'd grown very close to recently, and Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, the vigilante thief whom he'd flirted with on and off for a while. It was clear that neither of them had any intention of stepping aside, and Peter wasn't interested in having them at each other's throats, not needing any more headaches in his life. But then he came up with a solution that he presented to the both of them. Why fight over me when we can all share? Dog, what? Neither Kara nor Felicia could believe their ears, and Felicia, being a master thief, was always a rather possessive kind of woman and wasn't in a hurry to share, but she thought that this was a golden opportunity to prove herself over the Kryptonian blonde. So in the end, both of them agreed to Peter's plan, and with that, all three of them began a three-way make-out session. Oh, Lord. And in the frenzy, Kara and Felicia... Dog, what? Ended up kissing. This is weird, bro. Which made them both blush, but they decided to just go with it. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit some of this out soon. Once the kissing ended, Kara and Felicia sank. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it. Done with this. Wow. Not even like a few paragraphs in, and this is just off the deep end. Just wow. Okay, let's move on. So this person had like a little bit of a conscience and like at least had a little bit of context for the story. So you know, we got Peter and Kara, I guess some sort of fighting situation was happening, and now she wakes up and she sees them. Yeah, I think so. Kara's voice trailed off as she finally looked up at him properly and promptly went silent. Her eyes traced every inch of his from his broad shoulders and muscled arms to the hard, strong-looking plane. What? What? Okay. What even is that? Okay, I guess. Anyways, slip southwards. Okay, as she licked her lips, a familiar but at the same time a strange heat building within her. She looked at this. Okay, this is just anime slop at this point. Oh, so badly wanted to trace the lines of the front of his children. Okay, are we serious? What? Why? Okay, I'm not reading that, bro. We're moving on. Are you running a fever? Okay, so anyways, so obviously Peter's confused. He's like, Kara, are you running a fever or something? The next second he got his answer from the longboard, but not in the way he was expecting. Kara shot up from the couch, her speed taking him by surprise, but what followed him shocked him even more. Literally and figuratively both. Her lips smashed against his in a frenzy of wildness and lust, and the force for attack made both of them fall backward. Her lips always this plump and soft? Instinctively, Peter moved his lips against hers, okay? Not reading that. As much as Peter wanted to push her away, the sudden ferocity had taken him completely by surprise. And now that the shock was wearing off, Peter found that he didn't want to end the kiss. Not reading that. And yeah, this is it. It's not crazy yet, but it's definitely getting a little weird. What? So Kara is obviously confused. Considering the rapidly evolving situation between them, he meant that literally as well. Peter decided to put his mind on the back burner as he... And okay, this is going to be it, guys. Okay, this is interesting. Some of these descriptions, again, I'm going to have to blur out in the editing room. Okay, this one's called The Shape of Her. Not every person who loves you wants what's best for you. Not every smile hides kindness. Peter Parker is learning that the hard way. One fractured relationship at a time. Dog, what? Got bored. Got bored, so I wrote something twisted, so enjoy. Dog, there are so many better things to do when you're bored. Let's see how this goes, okay? Alright, guys. So, at least this person had the decency to write like an actual like narrative before this. We're in chapter 4 now. I guess like he went on like a date with Gwen. Okay, so I read like some of this chapter and it's like kind of crazy. I'm gonna just skip all this because this is just like a very in-depth scene of Peter and Gwen, you know, doing the devil's tango, if you will. Okay, so basically like in this story, like this is like a Venom, like a symbiote suit story. So I didn't read the whole thing, so I don't really understand the context or the lore. So basically, like, so Peter's here, and I guess like the symbiote suit is like, hey, like there's like a problem going on here. So you know, he looked at Gwen, her sapphire eyes were fixed on him or whatever. Oh geez, okay. Uh, so basically, like you read this, and Venom's like, Peter, run, get out now. Peter, listen to me. The real girl came to the apartment an hour ago to find you. She's at the police station now. And so, you know, Peter's like what Venom, like what's going on? And so, like, I guess I don't know, like exactly like how Venom understands this, but basically, we find out that it was actually Kara that Peter slept with. It's like, what? Why? This kind of seems like borderline assault. I mean, because Peter didn't know it was Kara, so like, isn't that like not consensual? Like this just seems like this is just weird, bro. Like this is just weird. This is just weird. We're moving on. We're moving on. Okay, so this is one of the titles of all time. Spider-Man and Supergirl join the Mile High Club. I'm not going to give context for what that is. If y'all are adults, you understand. They try something they have never done before. Oh boy. Peter and Kara have been dating for 7 whole months. These 7 months have been the best moments in each other's lives. It has greatly helped Peter through getting over MJ. MJ just got whoa, what? She married Clark? Are we serious? Are we serious? Anyways, Peter didn't feel comfortable being a groomsman, but he at least had Kara support him as she was a bridesmaid. I still can't get over the fact that MJ is marrying Clark Kent. That's horrible.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Anyways, Peter had the day off today, and Kara just got home from a league meeting and she had to fill in for Superman until he got back from his honeymoon. Luckily, that was later today. Peter has missed spending time with his Sunshine, as he called her. Hey babe, Sunshine, how'd the meeting go? Boring. That bad, huh? Well, let's do something. We can play Smash Bros. Ultimate, go outside, or watch some My Babysitter's a Vampire. What do you want to do, Sunshine? Definitely you should play Smash Bros. Like, peak game. Oh, I walked into that one. What is we do a different kind of Smash? Kara bites her lip. And obviously this goes over Peter's head because he's the GOAT. And he says, sure, I'll have Brawl at May's house. We can run over there really fast and play it. And then Kara just goes straight out. She's like, I mean, we should have sex. Okay. Wow, Kara. Sure. Why not? And then whatever, some banter, don't care. Actually, I've been wanting to try something. Is that all right? What did you want to try? Peter's still not fully over the trauma that Skip caused when he was a child. It's why he refuses to do bondage, even if his webs would be perfect. What is this lore? What is happening here? Excuse me, what am I reading? Okay, this is just odd. While flying in the air, I understand. What in the boys am I reading? What in the Homelander? I will need to wear my web shooters and nanotech suit. Okay, at least there's consent. That's good, I guess. The couple finishes preparing. Again, this is just like weird, bro. It's like you're doing this whole like preparation for this, like what, like. Just go to the bed, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, what if you crash into a plane? What if you crash into the Twin Towers? Have you ever thought about that? Like, genuinely speaking, what if you crashed into a building while doing this? Then you're gonna have to pay for that, bro. Like, let's think about this for a second. Okay. And that's it, guys. We're not reading anymore of that because it's starting to get a little guys, it's like let's actually think about this for a second. Okay, weird behavior. All right, let's see if there's anything else. We got another one. Doing more than lunch. What a title. Kara, Lena, and Peter have a steamy afternoon with each other. Oh boy. Let's see how quickly this gets off the deep end. Lena Luthor sent a message saying she was running a bit late, which meant Peter Parker and Kara Danvers needed to occupy themselves. With a daring smile on her face, Kara straddled his lap. Okay. Peter responded by feeling up. Oh, jeez. Okay. So she dove in with an impressive kiss. Each kiss increased in excitement, with Kara peppering her lips and down the side of Peter's mouth. Okay, guys, this is weird. This is a little too descriptive for me. Okay, and that's it, guys. We're done here. We're done. I didn't even realize some of these descriptions, like, holy. So yeah. That's the wacky world of Spider-Man and Supergirl shipping. There was definitely a ton of brain rot, as we just saw, but it was also a nice opportunity to showcase artists who are genuinely passionate about storytelling. As I mentioned earlier, the reason this pairing has become so popular is because they share themes of grief and finding hope in the midst of despair. And there's a lot of potential for that premise. It's nice seeing artists express themselves, and I highly recommend you check out all the ones I showcased in this video. Just please, for the love of everything holy, please do not engage with this smut stuff. In my opinion, it holds almost zero artistic value. And please, don't make AI versions of this couple. This actually has zero artistic value. So, what are your thoughts on all this? Do you like this pairing? Do you think it's just a bunch of romance slop? Is there a ship you actually think works? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.